Things we wish Jesus hadn't said. My name is David Madison. This is the 9th of April 2019, and this is the first in a series of flash podcasts on that topic. Mark Twain said that the best cure for Christianity is reading the Bible. So let's find out why Mark Twain was absolutely correct. A few months ago, I fell into casual conversation with a devout Catholic woman, maybe in her mid-50s, and after a few minutes, I asked her how she felt about the Bible verse in which Jesus says you have to hate your family to be one of his disciples. She got very angry. She thought I was lying. She said she'd never heard of that verse. But here it is, Luke chapter 14, verse 26. Whoever comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even life itself, cannot be my disciple. Now, this woman, I think, deserves an F for Bible study, but there are many Christians who read the Gospels, and when they come to this text, it must be like a full-body blow. Why is this here? What does it mean? I want to make 5 points about this text. The first one is we really don't know if Jesus said this at all, because none of the recorded sayings of Jesus in the Gospels are verifiable. We have no contemporary documentation, no letters, no diaries, no newspaper accounts. If there had been a stenographer on hand taking notes, we don't have those notes. So, Christians may breathe a sigh of relief. We don't know if Jesus said this, but they can't breathe a sigh of relief for long, because the second point is that Luke wrote these words, whether Jesus said them or not. Why would he write this? 50 to 75 years after the Jesus events supposedly took place. Luke was a cult propagandist. He was an advocate for the early Jesus cult, which was a breakaway Jewish sect. He had his theological agenda, but why would that agenda include a text about hating your family? The third point is, Christians often say to us, you're taking this out of context. But in what context could it possibly be okay to say you have to hate your family? And we do know the context of Luke 14. Jesus has told the parable of the great banquet, where a generous host had sent invitations to people to come to his home for a banquet. At the last minute, they all declined. They all gave excuses. But he wanted to fill his table, so he sent his servant out into the lanes, the highways, the hedges, to bring in the poor, the lame, the crippled, the blind. He wanted to fill his table. What a magnificent parable this is for the kingdom of God, which Jesus preached and predicted. But Luke wanted to impose some restrictions. Luke wanted to say, not so fast, it's not that easy. He was interested in protecting the cult. Cult leaders ever since have not wanted people who will be swayed by family, who will be swayed by anything at all. That was part of his agenda. The text is embarrassing to us, but it was not embarrassing to Luke. For him, it was standard operating procedure. The fourth point, nor can you say, well, Jesus couldn't have meant that. Unless you are a specialist in Aramaic, the language of Jesus, unless you are an expert on Greek, the language of the New Testament, and know the nuances of those languages, you cannot say Jesus couldn't have meant that. That's a knee-jerk reaction to try to cling to the ideal Jesus of the imagination that people have learned in Sunday school. The fifth point is, yes, the word hate is there. There's no way around it. It means exactly what it seems to mean. New Testament scholar Hector Avalos, in his book, The Bad Jesus, has a 39-page chapter explaining exactly why the word hate means what it seems to mean. So if Christians want to claim, if they want to insist that the Gospels are the accurate story of Jesus, that they do not lie, then this verse has to be at the top of the list of things we wish Jesus hadn't said. And there are plenty more to come.